way. I got the sauce, I'm looking to saute. This is an off day, but still working, so get out of harm's way. Don't let me tell you again, I'm coming to win and coming to lose it. Don't let me tell you again, I'm coming to win, so get out the way. Don't let me tell you again, I'm coming to win and coming to lose it. Don't let me tell you again, I'm coming to win, so get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way.
Coming up on News 20 at 5, protesters make their voices heard outside the Florida Capitol.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
And how the latest decision from the Trump administration will impact your incoming packages from overseas.
Plus, Bianca Censori and her shocking red carpet walk. And a mid-season resignation shakes up FSU's basketball program. We'll have that and more. News 20 at 5 starts now.
Live from Florida A&M University on the highest of 7 hills in the capital city, covering every corner of the Big Bend. This is the award-winning FAMU TV20 News.
Good evening and welcome to News 20 at 5. I'm Casey Antoine.
And I'm Zoe Wells. Caitlin has the night off. Dozens gathered this afternoon for another protest against the mountainous of recent executive actions signed and policy changes made by the Trump administration. I talked to event organizers and protesters, and they shared their thoughts.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Sunrise Tallahassee held a protest today at the state capitol in response to some of President Trump's recent slew of executive orders. What was different about this rally is that it wasn't a single-issue protest, but a protest about everything that has occurred since the current administration has stepped into office. Rally organizer Madeline Pross says that this is the first step in making changes.
At the end of the day, change doesn't happen overnight. I'm not expecting to wake up tomorrow and Donald Trump to have an impeachment hearing scheduled. But what I really, really think we can achieve today is that every single person in that crowd and every person who walks by and the state legislators who walk by know that the legislators in this building are their representatives. We are a representative democracy, and at the end of the day, our elected officials are public servants.
After only one day to pull things together, news spread, drawing a significant crowd. People from all ages and backgrounds showed. Many mothers showed up in solidarity with their daughters, holding up signs regarding women's rights. I spoke with one mother who was hoping things change for her daughter's sake.
I feel like our children are our future. They're the coming generation, and to raise them in this sort of atmosphere is just not conducive to the country going forward in a way that's going to benefit them. They're not going to have the same opportunities, the same lives that we've been able to have.
The rally will be going on all day today. Sunrise Tallahassee plans to orchestrate more protests in the future.
Staying in Tallahassee, the police are searching for those responsible for vandalizing a historic community garden last night. The Lich Gate was broken into and destroyed. Much of the furniture inside of the garden was flipped and broken. It was built by FSU English professor Laura Jepson and named after the gates of medieval England, Lich Gate Cottage. She is also the founder of the Leon County Humane Society. The community is working hard to restore the garden to its former state.
A Tallahassee man who was set to stand trial this week in the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend decided to enter a plea instead. 17-year-old Marlacy Kitchen was gunned down in her car at the Savoy at Southwood Apartments in October 2022. A friend in the car was also shot that night but survived. Jabril Griffin entered a plea deal last week of charges of manslaughter and attempted murder, Court records show he was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
A former district attorney is on trial in Georgia. The judge is dismissing one charge that alleged Jackie Johnson hindered law enforcement. The case is related to the murder of unarmed black man Ahmaud Arbery in 2020.
She actually said it herself in the recording that we played. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. She actually said, I never called the Attorney General's office.
There's not a scintilla of evidence that Ms. Johnson interfered or hindered or obstructed.
This case is still ongoing.
Today, FAMU interim president Timothy Beard announced a new vice president and executive director of the FAMU Foundation. President Beard appointed W. Anthony Neal to fulfill the role. Prior to this position, Neal served as the vice president of advancement at the Wiley University in Marshall, Texas. He replaced his former director, Shawnetta Frage Shroud. Frage Shroud resigned from the position following the mishandling of a fraudulent $237 million donation. Neal will now be tasked with improving FAMU's fundraising efforts. Vice President Neal will work closely with President Beard on the mission to secure financial support for the university. Neal could not be reached for a comment.
Tallahassee Police Department and Leon County Schools partnered together to enforce the new school zone speed enforcement program. It's designed to enhance community safety by using cameras to enforce speed limits throughout the school day. Starting this school year, cameras will be installed in school zones across the county in an effort to create a safer environment for students and other pedestrians. This program is made possible by House Bill 657, a law passed during the 2023 Florida legislative session.
The Wakulla School District is rising to the top as they have been ranked the third highest in Florida's high school graduation rates. According to the Department of Education, Wakulla County has a 97% graduation rate, surpassing neighborhood counties like Leon, which has a graduation rate of 85%, Gadsden with a 74%, and Franklin with just under 73%. Carrie Prosser, Assistant Principal of Instruction at Wakulla High, credits their success to hands-on mentorship from 9th grade to graduation. Coming up on News 20 at 5, U.S. Postal Service has made a quick turnaround in a recent decision, and the National Transportation Safety Board is working hard on solving the mystery behind the tragic D.C. plane crash. Stay tuned, you're watching News 20 at 5.